Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite Battle Royale tips and tricks video. In tonight's video, we're going to be talking about how to get a 10 plus kill solo win in Fortnite Season 9 because this season quite a bit has changed in the way that you can play aggressively or passively, especially around these slipstreams being in the game, especially being at a place that I like to land quite a bit, which is Fatal Fields. They have really changed up with that. Tilted, you know, the movement around there is completely changed, and not only the slipstreams, but the sky bases, which makes such a huge impact. Going to talk about all that, how to get more solo wins, how to get them with nice kills, over 10 plus kills, and if you guys could drop a like on this thing, that would be absolutely amazing. So go ahead and smack that like button. If we could go ahead and go for 324 likes, that would be absolutely incredible. Smack that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and be sure to hit that bell so you can get first on all of my future videos, and let's get right into it and talk about it. Now, going for kills, I always talk about making a plan and having a plan of the amount of kills you want to go for while getting a win. 10 kills is a good amount because it's double digits. If you get a 10 kill win, I think we can all agree that for the most part in a solo, you played pretty well. That's a pretty respectable win. You know, it's not like if you get a 2 or 3 kill win, people can kind of discredit that, like, oh, okay, you got the win, but you didn't really engage with too many players. But on a 10 kill win, I don't think people can really discredit it. And I think that's a good amount of kills where you can feel fairly comfortable. Right there, by the way, oh my goodness, you can see me just torch that player with the blue SMG, which, by the way, just because the new TAC AR is out, don't forget about the SMGs because they are still absolutely deadly. Right here, watch for this. I almost make a whoopsie right there. And that has happened to me, I think, like twice since the season came out. Comment below, has that happened to you where you fell off those sky platforms? Because that literally almost happened to me there. Luckily, what you want to do when you are falling is try to angle yourself into it to where it propels you back up. That's what I was able to do there to catch myself and bring myself back up. By the way, on this season, this has happened to me like 10 times. When players' loot is at the bottom of the sky platform, is there any way to pick it up? I don't think that there is because there's no way to interact with the stream going up, yes or no. So I'm not sure how that will be fixed, if they're going to change that in a future patch where you can get that loot, because that has happened many times to me. Or maybe there is a way to get the loot that I'm just not thinking of. If you guys know how to, let me know in the comment section down below, but I'm not sure. Anyway, you can see I have 3 kills here and we're going into 27 players left, or 26 players left. Now, on this game, I landed Fatal Fields, and in past seasons, if you land Fatal Fields, you're probably not going to get a 10 bomb just because Fatal Fields isn't that poppin', and it's still not that poppin' this season. But the thing is, once I loot, where you land to loot isn't as important, because once you loot, take a slipstream, head over to that sky platform, and around those sky platforms is where a lot of people tend to be and to be fighting. And even if you're up there, you can sort of glide around and look for players. That's what I was able to do, and that's where I got those first couple of kills at the sky platform right by Fatal Fields. Next, I'm moving in here over towards much where Salty Springs is, and I get this kill with a couple of body shots with this shotgun, which, by the way, these shotguns take advantage of the distance on them, or the basically range, the damage at range. These things, especially if you're fighting against a TAC, you have no chance to beat someone with like a green and blue TAC up front, like up close, unless you hit that shot perfectly. But at range, you can easily poke them down and do damage like that in these extended fights with those shotguns. So now we're moving in, we got 4 kills, and you can see how early game I used those mechanics in Season 9 to find players, find engagements. The way that I like to see Fortnite is when I'm in a position like I am right here, I got good mats, good weapons, good shields. I want to fight. I want to take on engagements and take on fights here, because even if I get the kills and get damage, I can get more loot, maybe upgrade some weapons, which I don't really need right now, but you never know, and possibly get more shields or just get more kills, rack them up. If I was in a position where I'm in a tough spot, then I probably don't want to fight as much, but I'm in a good spot here. This guy, of course, gets the first shot in on me from behind. I immediately turn around and start building, and I choose to pop my slurp right here before I go in on this fight. This is something that I've been doing a lot more with slurps, especially if you hold them towards late game, popping them before you go in. And then, of course, I put the pressure on this player who boxes up. This is something you're going to see happen all the time in this season. And when players box up, you usually just want to make one. You can either take, if you have a TAC, usually what I'll do in that situation is take out like 3 of the blocks or 4 of them and just boom, 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 basically W key, as PC players say, run in there with a TAC and spray them down, or a drum gun if they're weak. However, if they're not that weak, you might want to do it more where you're peeking through different holes and edit peeking with the shotgun, which, by the way, combat shotguns and tac shotguns are all good in this season. I think that you really have to depend on what your playstyle is and what range you're trying to use them at. So you can see here, we're in still a fairly good position. I did basically, by taking that fight, I got an extra kill, but I did lose my slurp because I did have to use that. I stacked some minis there, and this is one of the games where when you go into that late game, you want to have an inventory that is awesome of 5 things that are great. Right here, I realize I have 4 things that are great. 3 grenades, however, aren't that important to me. This guy comes flying in with a bush out of nowhere. I, of course, get some shots in and immediately go aggressive on this player. The reasoning for me doing that is because, well, I got the first damage in. There's no reason for me to take longer. The longer I take in this fight, the more likely I'm going to get third-partied or something's going to go wrong or something like that. Also, at the same time, though, you don't want to be too impatient. This guy, I realized, didn't seem to be the smartest player. I drop down, get a couple body shots in again with the shotgun, and I'm able to get that kill, which you should still be aiming for the head and getting those shots with this shotgun. So getting those body shots isn't it's not as bad as with the pump because of course your time to recock it was ridiculous with the pump. But you can see here once again I pull an edit play on that guy and get a nice shot in with the shotgun. So I'm winning most of these fights with the new shotgun, and I think that people should be using them. I do like to have a secondary still to spray, and like I say, if I am going with the combat shotgun, I like to have a secondary, or I guess you could say a third weapon to spray, like an SMG, like a drum gun. If I go with the tac, and right here you can see, I make the choice to swap out for the tac, and my reasoning behind doing that was sort of thinking ahead towards the late game. And the thing is that if you carry a combat shotgun, you probably want to carry a secondary for it. Sometimes if I just have the SCAR, I'll go SCAR and combat. That can work as well. But with the tac, you don't really switch from the tac to like an SMG or drum gun to spray. So the cool thing about that is when I have the tac, and I knew there was a care package coming in over here, which I wanted to get, usually you're going to get some good loot out of there. The cool thing with that is I can carry just, let's say, an AR, tac, and then a couple shields and a 50 pot, or a couple shields and a glider, which you'll see me do right here. That guy makes a horrible attempt to push. Always be conscious of if you have glider redeploy or not, and reinforce your bases accordingly or your builds accordingly. But you can see here that this works out well because I'm able to take 2 weapons, but still have the glider redeploy, which I really like to have, and have some good extra shields in my possession. So right here we come down into the late game, and this is where I was in a very tough position because someone actually landed on top of the tree and I didn't notice, and that's a smart play. If you have the glider redeploy, make the most of it. Now this is where I'm so glad I dropped that combat and the SMG and took just the tac, because look, I had to use a lot of my minis there just to defend against that guy with the boom bow in the tree. I had to use a lot of my big pots, and then of course I build out of here safely, and I realize in this position where I'm at, I have an unbelievable amount of materials just due to the fights that I have taken, due to having 9 kills, and I also have a glider redeploy, a jump pad, and a lot of things. So at this point, why I recommend setting a goal. Let's say if your goal was to get 10 plus kill wins, I have 9 kills at this point. So if I want to hit this goal, I don't need to be playing it super aggressive to risk anything. If I had 7 kills, I'd have to play it aggressive to get that kill goal, right? So that's why I think it's very important. Right here, I realize my mindset, once I get into that top 10 in reality, my mindset sort of switches from getting kills into getting kills when they're presented to you, but also the main priority, getting that win. So that's what I realized here when I have 4 kills. And the beautiful thing about this glider redeploy is I was just going to glide over and take this free high ground from this guy, right? Land on top of it and build. However, it gets shot down. But the cool thing about gliders is I did exactly what that player did to me earlier. Take advantage of the tree. I have 900 ammo. No one is, unless they're above me in a sky base, I'm not going to get shot at here, so I have no worries about spraying. And once this tree gets shot down or anything, I can just glide on off. The bad thing is that you can't build off of a tree, which I think if you could do that, that would be kind of overpowered anyway. But you can just jump off and basically pop your glider at that last possible second. So here, top 4, my mindset is all about preserving this win. I realize the zone is going to push me, and this is why I carry glider redeploy almost all the time going into late game in a casual match or a public match, because it's so important. Now I use a glider there, or I use a jump pad there to rotate, because I realized I was in kind of a tough spot. The positive there is I can get out with the jump pad. The negative is everyone else can use my jump pad as well, but that sort of comes with the territory. Late game, whenever you have the chance and there's people floating through the air, take the shots. People float so slowly through the air. You can see there, I probably should have got more damage in on that guy, but I was missing shots. And on the other hand, to use your glider redeploy, be sure to pop it or activate it at the lowest possible, not at the lowest possible, but almost at the lowest possible, just because you don't want to risk dying from fall damage from not activating it, which would make you feel really dumb. But you also don't want to be a floating target for enemies and basically be something that's a super easy target to hit. Anyway, here I'm in a build battle. It comes down to the last player, and this is where I'm constantly trying to stay above this player. I try to drop down there for the finish. He blocks me off, which was a smart play. All I'm trying to do here is stay above and drop down for the finish every single time. This guy seems to be decent with the building. Of course, when he places the trap, stay to the other edge so he can't take you out. And then eventually you see your opportunity, drop down and make the most of it. I want to make that fight at the end super duper close there with the tack. And as I was dropping, I took the shot and then of course finished him as I hit the ground there. If hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, hopefully this analyzing this gameplay did help you guys be able to get more kills and get more 10+ kill solo victories in this season 9. Drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.